Cattails are insanely overpowered in Vintage Story, with a ton of ways to get it, store it, farm it, and use this valuable item. Learn everything about why cattails are overpowered. So of course, the first big question is, how do you actually get cattails? Cattails themselves are so useful, it's important to get a really good source of them as soon as you possibly can. Well, of course, the first big method of getting cattails is by harvesting them in or near shallow bodies of water in temperate climate. Once you know what you are looking for, you will start noticing them everywhere. However, harvesting cattails in the wild isn't the only way to obtain them. You can also occasionally find cattails inside cracked vessels, particularly forage and farming vessels. If you're exploring farther north, there is even a chance you find them inside Arctic supply vessels in the deep north. Now that you have found some cattails, let's talk about harvesting them efficiently. As we learned in the previous video, the most efficient tool for harvesting the top portion of the cattail is a knife. If you are after the roots, you will want to bring a shovel. Scythes can also harvest the upper portion of the plant, but since naturally occurring cattails are usually spread out rather than densely packed, using a scythe on wildly grown cattails is often inefficient. Instead, save the scythe for later when you have established your own plantation. That's where it really shines. Whenever you are harvesting cattails, make sure you collect both the reeds and the roots whenever possible. The reeds provide immediate crafting materials, while the roots are your ticket to creating a renewable supply closer to home. And that brings us to cultivation. One of the biggest mistakes players make is repeatedly traveling back and forth to a huge patch of cattails you have found during your adventures. What you really want is a centralized cattail plantation close to your base. While you are out gathering cattails, make sure to collect plenty of roots. Once you bring them home, you can replant them surprisingly easily. Many players don't realize this, but cattails don't actually require water to grow. You can plant them almost anywhere, making them one of the easiest renewable resources to establish. There is one limitation though. Cattails do not grow during winter. Unfortunately, even greenhouse mechanics won't help with that. Once temperatures drop, you will have to wait for warmer temperatures before seeing new growth. For maximum efficiency, I recommend planting them in rows of 3. This layout works perfectly with a scythe harvesting area, allowing you to harvest 6 plants at once in a 3x2 block pattern. Over time, your plantation can expand into hundreds of cattails, providing more reeds than you will ever realistically need. And considering how many recipes require them, that's a very good thing. Okay, so that's how you find and cultivate cattails. But what exactly makes them so overpowered? Let's go through their many uses. Well, the first thing of course is that the roots are edible. You can cook cattail roots and eat them. Unfortunately, they only provide around 100 satiety and are generally not worth relying on as a food source. The problem is that consuming the roots destroys them, meaning you are sacrificing future harvests for a relatively small amount of food. In most situations, you will gain roughly the same amount of satiety that you spent gathering them in the first place. So while they can save you in an emergency, they are rarely a long-term food solution. The very first practical use for cattails should be hand baskets. When you start a new world, your hotbar is effectively your entire inventory. Every extra storage slot matters. Hand baskets drastically increase your carrying capacity, allowing you to bring back more resources from every trip. Once you've progressed a bit further, cattails also become a key ingredient in hunter backpacks, giving you even more inventory space. More inventory means fewer trips home, and fewer trips home means faster progression. Cattails also provide some of the earliest storage solutions in the game. Reed chests offer a substantial increase in storage space and are extremely cheap to produce. You can fill an entire early game base with reed chests and solve your storage problems long before you have access to more advanced options. Even better, once you eventually replace them and the hand baskets, you can dismantle them with a knife and recover half of the materials used to craft them. That's a level of efficiency most resources simply don't offer. Those same reed chests can also be crafted into reed basket traps. These traps play an important role in capturing animals and establishing your very own animal husbandry. Many players focus on farming and mining progression, but overlook how valuable a stable source of livestock can be. And once again, cattails are sitting right at the foundation of that progression path. Cattails can also be used to craft crude shields. Now, I'll be honest here, crude shields aren't particularly impressive. Their durability is very low and they will break quickly under heavy use. Most players will get far more value from improvised armor as their primarily early game defense. Still, if you need a quick defensive option and have spare reeds available, the shield is there. This is where cattails truly shine. Beekeeping is one of the most valuable systems in Vintage Story. To establish your own apiary, you will need scabs. And scabs require cattails. Honey is used in lanterns, leatherworking, cooking, and even cheese making. Entire production chains depend on having a healthy bee population. Without cattails, your beekeeping journey doesn't even begin. They are literally the foundation of one of the most important systems in the game.
Do you struggle with foul, cruel and bad-tempered rodents? It's just a harmless little bunny, but deep down it has a vicious streak a mile wide. Did you try to taunt it so it might become so cross that it will make a mistake? We have the venerated Foxy and Holy Beanade, blessed by Jonas Fox himself, before he vanished. We have infinite amount of supplies, though make sure to get yours before the supplies run out. This is your chance to get your very own Foxy and Holy Beanade, blessed by Jonas Fox himself, before he vanished. Believe me, you don't want to miss it. Order now. Using the Foxy and Holy Beanade is child's play, and it was also blessed by Jonas Fox himself, before he vanished. Here is how it works.
O Jonas Fox, bless this thy beard, that with it thou mayst blow thy enemies to tiny bits. First thou shalt take aim, and then thou shalt count to 3, no more, no less. 3 shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. Once the number 3 being the third number being reached, then loobest thou the Fox and Holy Beanade towards thy foe.
Wait, how long did I need to count? In emergencies, cattails can also be crafted into torches. That said, grass remains a much more efficient source for torch production. It's nice to have the option available, but this is probably one of the less impactful uses for your precious reeds. One of the most important early game uses for cattails is crafting bandages. Horsetail poultices should become a permanent resident of your inventory. Being injured significantly increases your satiety consumption, and you want to preserve as much of it as you can. Otherwise, you are essentially wasting precious food. If there is one reason cattails deserve the overpowered label, it's rope. Cattails are the foundation of rope production, and rope is used absolutely everywhere. We have already mentioned improvised armor. Later, rope is used in the much stronger bear armor. Blacksmithing requires rope for tongs and bellows. They are needed for buckets too, and you will use them constantly around your base. The amazing rope ladders also surprisingly require rope. And rope ladders are the best because they can be reeled back up, making them far superior to standard ladders for exploration and cave diving. If fashion is your jam, Rope is being used in a variety of different cosmetic items, such as the Cattail Root Amulet. No matter how you look at it, cattails sit at the center of countless crafting chains. Speaking of cosmetics, there is one use that not many players know about, and it is often overlooked, but cattails can be used to make rush matting. Rush matting is an excellent decorative block that can dramatically improve the appearance of an early game base. It adds warmth, detail and character to otherwise plain rooms. You can even place other objects on top of it, making it surprisingly versatile for interior decoration. And since patch 1.22, cattails can also be used to craft mannequins, allowing you to display your favorite cosmetic clothing outfits. Finally, cattails can be stored directly on the ground as attractive reed piles, so even your cattail storing can look good. Not many resources manage to be both practical and decorative at the same time. And finally, the letter C in cattails is higher up in the alphabetical order than the letter P in papyrus. Therefore, alphabetically speaking, cattails are better than papyrus. You can't argue with the alphabet. Cattails are one of the cornerstone resources of both the early and late game in Vintage Story. They are easy to find, easy to farm, renewable and connected to an incredible number of important crafting recipes. From inventory upgrades and storage solutions to bandages, beekeeping, rope production and decoration, cattails remain useful throughout your entire playthrough. Personally, I think they earn the title of overpowered. But what do you think? Do you agree? Or is there another often overlooked overpowered item in the game? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more Vintage Story related content. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye!